So I really want to speak on these lectures here. One thing I want, especially people from the new conscious community or people that just been into this, I've probably been enlightened, honestly, since 2011, and then the past few years I really started speaking on it. So a lot of times when people come into new consciousness, they shit on old concepts, and the fact is that's not true. These old concepts and these manuscripts were created for a reason. So I see a lot of new conscious people really just tear down the Bible, but the Bible has so many jewels in it. It even says in the Bible, be ye not conformed to the ways of these worlds, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. So to fully understand the Bible, by the time you read it right, to read it correctly and to comprehend the gems and the jewels that are it's giving you, you already have to be a new mind. So and you're not going to being able to understand the Bible completely until you're woke in the first place, or enlightened, however you would call it. I hate to say woke, I hate to say a lot of stuff, but until your mind has been transformed by opening up these new light codes, and you can't get that until the new renewing of your mind, and the parables and all these things that you're taking literally won't be presented to you until you have a new level of understanding to even understand what the Bible is trying to tell you. So from the Bible to Quran, blah blah, all these different books from Buddhism to Torah, they all have these different to Kabbalah. They all have these different jewels, and these were many books, right? And they've been separated, but the reality is the same people who wrote all these different sects had the same theology and they had the same understanding. So you have to renew your mind first to even understand the stuff to be, so basically you think you're woke but you're not really. So speaking on that, I did an entire lecture, maybe an hour or so, about, again, going deeper into things. A lot of people know about the law of attraction, but people don't know the full spectrum of the universal law as a whole that govern our entire universe. So they're called the seven Hermetic principles. And before giving the Greek name Hermes, there's Dehuti, Thoth, all this, all basically talking about the same philosopher from very different continents, countries, cultures, different names, same person. So one of my favorite verses in the Bible, and the verse that I talked about when I spoke on all the universal laws, was Ecclesiastes 3. Just so beautiful, and this gets into really a lot about balance and polarity and the law of vibration, and just understanding this very much. If you understand balance and harmony, this is how these things will work in together. So this one in reality you really can take literally, because this is how things are. We're either this or that. They have you separated in black and white, checkerboard, either this or that. But the truth is, to live a life based on universal law, you must be in balance, you must be in harmony. Then that's polarity. There cannot be a male without a female, cannot be a positive without negative. And it's beyond just physical. These are energetic forces and field. So you have to live your life in this way of balance. You cannot have one without the other. With darkness, there's light. So, long story short, I'll get to this because a lot of people are out of balance. So we're in a new season and a new the true new year, right, starts around March, April for the people again who understand the laws and are following more of an Ethiopian calendar, not the Gregorian calendar. So right now, spring, the renewal, recycle. This is the true new year. So come here, reshift, refocus, bounce. This is the beginning. One, victory lap. We're starting from the beginning. So 3, to everything there is a season, a time for every purpose under heaven, a time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to pluck what is planted, a time to kill and a time to heal, a time to break down and a time to build up, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance, a time to cast away stones and a time to gather stones, a time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing, a time to gain and a time to lose, a time to keep and a time to throw away, a time to tear and a time to sow, a time to keep silence and a time to speak, a time to love and a time to hate, a time for war and a time for peace. So I know stuff like hate, right? You didn't think that'd be in the Bible. Stuff like, I spoke on this all the time. I did a podcast and they asked me about when to speak and also knowing when to keep silent. So balance, polarity and balance. A lot of y'all operating on one level, especially those people that are brand new, like, oh, you're spiritual, you can't do that. No, you have to operate on balance. Life is a balancing act. So that's really what a lot of this is talking about. There's a time to be assertive. There's a time for peace, but there's a time for war, too, when it's necessary. There's a time to speak, and there's a time to be silent, too, when it's necessary. But you have to be, balance is key, right? Not being way off here or way off here. Peaks and valleys. So that's the main thing. Everybody is off balance. You get this one set of new knowledge, you cut everything out the other, not realizing the true key is balance. So that's my message to you guys today. Do not throw out your Bible, Ecclesiastes 3:3. But when you read it, make sure your mind is renewed and transformed so you're not just prescribed to prescription of somebody's perspective to keep you locked down. Make sure that your mind is enlightened, given new light codes so you can receive the answer, so you could read to have inner